The film begins in Illyria, Europe's smallest country, where Samantha, the second daughter of the royal family of Illyria, is not treated as a princess because she is not the family's eldest daughter. However, her older sister Eleanor always gets whatever she wants. To make matters worse for Sam, her father, King of Illyria, was killed in a plane crash along with his brother. As a result, Sam's mother, Catherine, ascended to the throne and assumed command of the country. Eleanor will turn 18 in a few weeks and will be crowned Queen of Illyria to replace her mother, while Sam's presence is never considered in the family. Sam is a normal kid who hangs out with anyone, including Mike, the son of a groundskeeper in the kingdom. Because the country has a monarchy system, they conduct an anti-monarchy campaign by playing rock music on the streets, attracting people nearby as well as police officers. Sam tries to distract the cops with her skateboarding ability, but she eventually collides with a traffic sign and is arrested. She is then returned to her mother in the palace, where she explains that people are dissatisfied with the government system, but Catherine denies it, claiming that they are a minority. The following day at school, she meets another second-born royal named Roxana, who is quite popular and enjoys live streaming. The action shifts to a high-security prison designed specifically for the world's most notorious criminal. Two guards are seen delivering food to a man identified as Inmate 34. He discovers a capacitor hidden inside an apple and connects it to a device that allows him to remove the neck cuff. He regains his strength and uses his telekinesis to break open the door and flee the facility. Meanwhile, Mike and Sam are rehearsing for their concert inside the palace in a music studio. The boy invites Sam to accompany him to the Bramblebone concert, which she accepts. He is surprised and perplexed when Sam detects the garlic naan he ate 2 days ago in his mouth. Sam comes across her and her father's old belongings and recalls how her father used to call him snowflakes because she was so special to him. That night, she attends a pre-coronation event for Eleanor and suddenly recalls that she promised Mike she would come to a party with him. She lies to her mother, immediately transforms into a rock girl, and tracks down Mike. However, because neither of them has an ID card, they are not permitted to enter the building. They are fortunate to come across the workers at the back door, and Sam sees the guy entering the door's passcode from a distance, which surprises Mike. They then enter the building and enjoy the party, where Sam suddenly becomes aware of every sound in the club, including heartbeats and insect buzzing. She is both uncomfortable and dizzy, so she activates the fire alarm to halt the concert. As a result, they are arrested once more. Mike has suspected that something is wrong with his friend since she was able to smell what he had for lunch 2 days ago. They are quickly released and picked up by their parents. Catherine decides to enroll her daughter in a summer school to make up for a missed exam. Meanwhile, Inmate 34 secretly calls his or her partner and compliments him or her on the Apple idea. Catherine is revealed to be the one who locked him up. While he waits for his move, he practices telekinesis and secretly stalks Sam. The next day, she attends the summer school where she meets January, claiming that her dad was friends with Sam's uncle. There's also the socially awkward Matteo, Tuma, and, of course, Roxana. Professor James Morrow, the teacher in charge of the summer class, arrives a few moments later. He then reveals that each of them is a second-born royal with a unique superpower that they are unaware of. He goes on to say that the summer school will prepare them to join the secret society of second-born royals. Catherine turns out to be the head of the society program, which surprised Sam. She explains that the society was formed to protect monarchies around the world from threats and criminals. The bad news is that students who fail the training will have their memories erased and will forget they have the superpower. They begin their first training by being told to climb the pyramid. However, it is not as simple as it appears. The room is filled with laser weapons which shoot the cocky Tuma. Slowly but steadily, each student discovers their own superpower. Roxana realizes she has the ability to be invisible, whereas Tuma has the ability to influence people to do whatever he commands. Sam's super sense, on the other hand, makes her more sensitive to her surroundings, allowing her to act faster than the others. To cut a long story short, the first challenge defeats all of the students. Following that, January discovers her superpower, which allows her to temporarily steal the power of others by touching them, while Matteo manages to control insects. When Sam's backup phone suddenly rings after the session, the girls share their problems as the family's second-born with each other. The students continue their training the next day, and James explains that they must be able to control their powers. James gives each of them specialized training because they each have a unique superpower. Sam is told to concentrate on voices to hone her superpowers, while Tuma is given a dog named Charlie to help him interact with others. On the other hand, Roxana is forced to use her superpower due to the extreme weather, while Matteo practices his insect control. January is taken to a swimming pool, where she must keep her stolen power from Anna, whose ability is to breathe underwater. James even puts his students to the test at lunchtime by bringing Sam poisoned food to sharpen her senses. January then gives her favorite apple. Mike's father notices his son calling the princess that night. He warns him not to approach the royals because they are not on his level. The next day, Sam approaches her mother, who, to her surprise, shows her an underground headquarters containing a large amount of unique items. One of them is a DNA-based nanodevice that can target specific individuals based on their genetic sequences. Catherine teaches her some techniques for mastering her superpower. Except for Roxana, all of the students were able to master their own superpower after that. Sam correctly guesses some of the voices, and Mateo is getting better at controlling the bees. Charlie follows Tuma's orders, and January sets new records for underwater breath holding. Because Roxana is the one who isn't progressing, James threatens to live stream her with messy hair and no makeup. Roxana eventually manages to activate his invisibility power using this trick. The students have finally reached their peak, and James is very pleased with the outcome. Sam is supposed to perform a street concert with Mike later that night. However, James abruptly awakens the students, forcing them to complete their first mission, which is to protect a jewel from theft. They arrive at the location and Sam manages to spot the thief with her super senses. They pursue the thief only to discover that she is January's coach. They have been duped and are unable to protect the jewel. James is dissatisfied with them and decides to cancel training the next day. Sam apologizes to Mike for not coming, but she is forbidden from telling him what is going on in her life right now, which irritates him. They decide to take a short vacation to the beach the next day because they have a free day. Sam is getting closer to January after having fun, and she invites her to the palace. They sneak in and she shows January her dedicated music studio, revealing that her father converted the tower specifically for her. Mike unexpectedly arrives at the studio and is furious to learn that Sam is having a good time without him. Inmate 34 appears a few moments later and uses telekinesis to attack the students. Before he flees, she hears him call her Snowflake, a nickname only her father gave her. James commands them to calm down, but Sam disobeys and pursues him. She finds him in the woods, where James tries to protect Sam but is severely beaten. Just before January arrives, he reveals to Sam that he is her uncle, Edmund, and punches him away with the stolen power. The teacher has been admitted to the hospital. Catherine is eventually forced to tell her daughter the truth, explaining that Edmund murdered her father in order to seize the throne. That is why she had him imprisoned. Sam demands to see Edmund after discovering that he is, in fact, her uncle. He explains that his true motivation was to demolish the monarchy so that people could live in equality. He had had enough of waiting for Sam's father to change, so he murdered him. She then meets her older sister, who tells Sam that once she becomes queen, she will bring about change in the kingdom. Meanwhile, the students agree to support Sam by attending Eleanor's coronation. That night, Sam decides to visit James at the hospital. He forgives her after she apologizes. The coronation day has arrived, and every important royal in the world is in attendance. Tuma, on the other hand, is unable to use his superpower there, while January, armed with Tuma's stolen persuasive superpower, silently sneaks into the underground headquarters. She orders the guard to release Edmund, and it is revealed that she was the one who performed the apple trick. She then returns to her friends and orders them to follow her into the cell. Through one of his bees, Mateo informs Sam about January. She locates Edmund and immediately pursues him using her super senses. The ceremony has begun, and Edmund has arrived at the cathedral to set up a nanodevice that will wipe out everyone of royal bloodline. Meanwhile, Sam realizes that January is after her and rushes to Mike's house to seek his assistance. He initially refuses to assist her, but Sam apologizes and tells him her secret. They eventually band together and manage to take out January, who admits to making a deal with Edmund in order to rule.
Who? Hi. Alright, what now?
I have to save my family.
They band together with the other students and decide to stop Edmund as a group. He claims that a world without royals will grant other people freedom. Sam, Tuma, and Roxana successfully distract him and lure him to a room with a miniaturized chamber installed to weaken his telekinesis. Mike reprogrammed the nanodevice, trapping Edmund inside. On the other hand, the coronation has been completed without incident, and Eleanor has been crowned as Illyria's new queen. As James recovers from his injuries, Sam, Roxana, Mateo, and Tuma are finally accepted into the society. Catherine reveals the secret society to the new queen, who promises Sam that by introducing Parliament alongside the monarchy, she will give the people of Illyria a choice. The society is informed that January has escaped, and they are challenged to find her. They proceed to the next mission in their new suit.